All right, I'll see you soon. The human world has a need for money. And money is required to buy the necessities of life, or so it seems. But money is always limited. Yet one must pick what they spend their money upon. As money will take you to the material world and give you an asset of one shape or form or another. But if you see that the asset is your release or your freedom, then you have missed the point of what the true meaning of any asset is. One could buy a pen, but that does not guarantee that the person knows how to write. One could have servants and enjoy all of what that delivers to the person, but their love of their family and friends is so much greater. And just buying a book does not guarantee one's self-understanding or realization. Rather, it is the experience that must be had that takes one into the truth of what the material item can truly deliver. So just buying a book does not give liberation, but it is working with the facts, the material that may lead one towards greater understanding. And if you were to learn all the words of any book, it still does not lead you to full liberation and understanding. But a true teacher should take you further than the understanding of the written word and take you into the truth of your spiritual nature, that no book can really take you there, but can point in the right direction. So let me give you a story. There once was a washerman who collected washing for his village and took it away to be cleaned. He used to load his donkeys and take all the washing to where it must go, and return the washing later in the afternoon. But one day he was not well and had to stay in his bed the whole day. But the washing still needed to be done. So he talked to his son and said, "Would you take the washing today?" So the son loaded the donkeys with all of the washing that was to be done. And as he set off on his journey, he pulled the donkeys onto the path, but they refused to move. And they stood still, stubborn. And try as he might, he could not move the donkeys and encourage them forward. So the son goes to the father and says, "Father, I have loaded the donkeys, but they are not moving." He said, I forgot to tell you. He said, "Each night when we come home, I touch the leg of each donkey. And the donkey thinks then that he is tied and bound. And each morning I touch the leg another time, and then the donkey thinks he is untied and then can begin the journey. So this is what the son did. He walked outside, touched the legs of the donkey in the appropriate place, and the donkeys began to walk forward. But you see, this is a description of your life of understanding of the spirit world. You have been taught that you are bound, you are limited, and you believe what you have been told. And you stand stubbornly like the donkeys, waiting for someone to liberate you and to set you free so you can walk your way. No knowledge would have cured the donkey. But the wise man, the teacher, in this case, the father and the son, liberated the donkeys from their bondage and allowed them to walk along their spiritual path. So the book would give you some understanding, but you should not believe it. You should experience. And experience what is the truth. Otherwise, even if you read the book, your leg would still be tied, and you would not know to touch the foot in exactly the right position. And that is why I come into your dream to wake you up. I touch your leg in the right position so that you may take a step into experience rather than knowledge. To lead you forward and say, you can, you will, you are. But without that touch, one could call it the touch of the guru, one would never achieve the blissful state of heart, as one would be stuck in regular thinking and never achieve the true outcome. Now, touch can take place physically or non-physically. Does not need to be with the fingers or toes or foot. But one liberates the other by sharing the qualities of truth and light. But one cannot take that. You must then step forward and understand it and experience what the light of spirit really means. Then you have greater depth and can talk on a topic from different avenues of perception. So this story, with a few changes, would also illuminate a series of talks of aligning the mind. And in a while, we'll get to the fourth part of this talk. But you see, aligning the mind, or my mission in it, is to touch your foot. Let a spark of light be known somewhere inside of you, and then you must follow that yourself. We could describe it in many glorious words and sentences, or even in rich poetry, I suppose. But what is the point until you live that life? So the fourth part of our talk today is talking about transcendence beyond the mind. And I will show to you, I would hope, there are times in your life when you are transcended, and times in your life when you work with body, mind, or heart. And this is more of a choice than you actually think. But let us find out more in a moment. So it is time now for our healing list of names. May I have those names now, please?
Yes. Craig and Amanda, Russ, Helen, Petra, Beth and Wendy, Christina and Jamie, Anne and Kathleen, Nick and Anne and Sue, Taylor, Monica, Bob Tracy, Sharon Phillips, Rachel Ray, Laura, Kath, Daniel and Chantal, Poppy, C. Megan Michael, Suzanne, Marianne, Jody, Eric, Stephen, Matthew, Andy, Dunk, Lorna, Lisa, Cynthia, Antonio and family, Claudio and family, Ross, Karen, Alex, Rob, Brett, Susie, Abby, Aiden, Amanda K, DJT, and of course, may all be happy.
So the essence of our series of talks today, as an underlying truth that you must understand, that I have repeated each week, and that is the consciousness, the awareness, the love, the light that shines to all beings is exactly the same. That light that travels through the individual is more blocked with some and more visible with others. And the blockage, the veil, is with things like mind and ego, and where one's attention is put. And we said that there's a very low end, but above that, there are those which place their attention on the needs of the body. Then there are those which place their attention on the mind and the need for logic and order. The mind gradually dissolves into those who follow the path of heart, And the heart too can be very limited in the expression of spirit until one goes deeper into the truth of the heart state. So you could look at this consciousness, love, or light that shines into the being as being tainted by wherever the attention is placed. Rather like a glass of water that is placed first on a red cloth would look tinged with red, and then on a blue cloth it would be tinged of blue. And if you place on a green or a pink or any other colour, the water appears to take on the quality of its surrounding. Yet that is purely an illusion. But it looks to be very real that the water on the red cloth looks slightly red. But that is not the case. So we said those who are concentrating on the needs of body, well, they do not see cause and effect. They just look at effect. What is the outcome I am facing today? Have no thought of where that cause comes from. Those who follow mind are more interested in cause and effect because they see that their action may deliver a result. So whereas the body people are very materialistic, the head people tend to be quite objective. Now, the heart-based people, they are very interested in the cause. This is the place of context. And now they're very interested in the feelings, the subjective part of the experience, and they look at intention. Well, what is my intention? And then that is my cause to create what I see outside. Those who transcend the mind into the purity of spirit are driven purely by context, the feelings of the situation. And the feelings are so rich that there is an overwhelming love that can be with that person. It's where at one end there is just the desires for my own needs. As the mind starts to become logical and be clear, then there is needs of my needs, but I will bring others with me. The heart people would look at selflessness. And the transcended individual would look at self with a capital S. So where one is very instinctual and mind and body related, at the transcended end, one is purely interested in the unfoldment of one's nature. So intention becomes unfoldment, as everything comes from the outside and the truth is come more purely into light. When you sit here, your focus is on the beauty and the needs of others as an expression of your truth, not in the desire to love, but the expression of love. So rather than letting love flow, It is purely who you are. And when you sit here, then your love is whole and complete and requires nothing else. You may find you fall into joy or happiness as you approach this transcending state, and you are happy for no reason, with no desire to do anything with it, because it is complete in its own self. And this feeling wells up so strong within you, it bursts through your being. Where at the position of heart, the desire to speech, towards speaking and helping others, now is purely just an expression of who I am. You do not give for the benefit of another. You give because you are a giver. So the bird would sing not because the song is beautiful, but in a transcended state, it would sing because it has a song. And others then would hear this sound and follow the beauty of this expression of song or love or happiness. Where once it was material world that drove the individual, now there is a feeling of peace and a feeling of completion and a feeling that all is totally well with the world. So one where they were once selfless, they are now full of compassion. And compassion is the understanding where the other is and allowing them to sit in your energy and space and you in theirs, knowing that all is perfectly well, just the way it is. So this transcended person finds peace everywhere. And that is the wonder of one's true nature. You cannot get to this point. In fact, each step is purely based on experience, and you must experience the inner world. Otherwise, you will not move over each of the bridges. Now, the description I have given, in essence, is describing 4 levels, and hence 3 bridges. And you can see those 3 bridges from body into mind, mind into heart, and heart into transcendence in drawings of the chakra system. If you wish to go deeper into understanding, then we would break it further and say there are in fact not 3, but 5 bridges. And the 5 bridges represent the 5 koshas that are often described, the 5 sheaths. But that, again, is a discussion for another time. In fact, we've already had that discussion years ago. We described the 5 sheaths in the way of understanding. But today, the discussion is simpler. Now, one needs to be careful when one thinks of these transitions as a bridge. It is an interior unfoldment that is occurring. And it's very slow and gentle as one becomes more reliant away from the exterior world, away from mind and heart, into the truth of oneself. When one finds where they are supposed to be, or who they are supposed to be with, or the teaching that is aligned with who they really are or their path, then you know. You know because words do not explain it, but the inner self is aligned in truth. You know your loved one. You know your calling. And this may even bring you to tears of certainty. Finally, I have found my path, or found my people, or found my guru. And this is the sign of darkness starting to diminish and light starting to shine. It is the thinning away of the veil that is blocking the shining of light. And the shining of light in one is given to others without effort, without judgment, without the desire to share at all. And then your true path of being led from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real, from death to immortality, is delivered. Now, this sounds quite a grand position to sit. But in the course of your life, you will experience, not just once, but many times, that you'll sit in this state of happiness, of transcendence, of unconditional love, of bliss. Sometimes it's just glimpses, and it is for no reason. You may walk the streets and be walking a foot above the pavement. But then 20 steps later, you are back with your foot touching the floor. So I said that this is no more than a choice. So the donkey who thought he was tied needed only to look in the right angle and position to realize he was not tied. And one who's caught at all the needs of the body must just change focus and awareness to the next part of their path. So at times when you are satisfying the needs of the body in whichever way, look again and see heart and mind and transcendence always there. You can never not have the light. Otherwise, my opening statements of it being the same for all beings would not be true. But you can believe that you do not have it. That is the point of telling the donkey story. So you shift your focus from one level to another level, and then one more time and another time. To do so means you must create new habits, new pathways, the bridge, if you would like. And you must bring your awareness to where you are. I am satisfying the needs of the body. That's not where I want to be. That is my logical, structured, ordered way of getting everything done. And it appears to get everything done. But there's another way. I must love and serve and heal others. I must give of myself relentlessly, because that is my path of devotion towards others. But the need for doing can be released. So the change of the levels is like taking a weight off your shoulders each time. Trying to satisfy the needs of the body is very tiring and heavy work, and the vibrational rate appropriately heavy. The mind never rests and always has need for more knowledge or understanding. But understanding doesn't get you to where you must be. The heart, when it's driven falsely, thinks that it must do love. But as the consciousness, the light, and the love that shines is the same for all beings, then you do not do any of this. You let your radiance be the truth of who you are, and you be the light. You be the happiness. You are compassion. So the word spiritual is of heart, and the word unity is beyond. So the blissful state, if it is not truly understood, Anandamaya kosha, then one thinks that they are truly connected. And yet they have more steps to take. So if you wish to practice this state of transcendence, it's not a doing that you must undertake, but it is an unfoldment of your light that is in you, that you must let out into the world. From the heaviest vibration to the finest. It is no more than opening one's being and letting the light shine. And then you are the clear diamond. You are the clarity that light picks up no qualities of cloth that it sits upon and shines through into the physical world. The light does not diffract into all those other colors, but is a complete expression. And you do experience this at times. Be happy for no reason. Be at peace. Pick peace. You are the beauty of love. Just choose love. And your light shines in its brightest sense in the world that can be so full of darkness. Next week, we will talk about the spiritual gifts that get given to you and the way you should look at them and work with them or not. But each week in this series of talks, I have opened to any questions regarding the topic of the talk. So if there's any that wishes to ask or seek clarity or advice, now is your time to ask your question. How may I help you?
Are there any questions? Please just unmute yourself and speak if you have a question, please.
Well, then I believe everything is clear. Now, the series of 4 talks of aligning the mind, and other talks will connect to this, other talks in future weeks. You must understand the basis of truth. Everyone has the same light. Where it shines, casts the shadow of the ego. There is no point in worshipping that shadow. Rather, one should look back to see the source of light. There is no point in feeding that shadow or trying to understand that shadow, unless it can point you back toward the light. So it is the experience of the light that is undescribable, goes beyond words, that cannot be told to another. That is you. That is you. You tie yourself with that fictional rope to think you are the body. To look from where the light comes from. Seek that source of that light. And then your truth is known to you. And you can control where this light shines and thus casts whatever shadow. And this is the analogy of the movie theatre that you watch this screen play out. You are in the purity of you, beyond measure, beyond words, beyond even the simplest word of beauty. And your light may shine into one body for 80 years and then another. But as the body falls away, where do you go? Now that light shines left or right. An experience is another incarnation until you become the light. You will be born and you will die. And when you realize you are the light, you will make your own choices and escape death and escape karma, escape the ego, escape the physical form, and step off the wheel of becoming. So next week, we are going to look at the spiritual gifts, the siddhis, that get given to you along your path, why they come, what you do with them, and what way you should look at them in their truth. They will come to all in different ways. Some are more obvious than others. But they all come with the opportunity of karma. Decide which karma that you would like. So, in that regard, I wish you well, and may God bless you all.